Memory Foam, a cool side of the pillow spin-off show where Vince and Josh talk on a variety of topics.
Almost nothing is off limits.
From dreams to pop culture, join us as our boys blurt out complete and utter nonsense until they tire themselves out. Please, just try to enjoy it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Memory Foam. With me, as always, is my co-host, Vince.
Uh-huh.
Still with
And
that.
you're Josh.
That's right. I'm Josh, and you're Vince.
Hi. Oh, hey.
What's going on, man? Anything new and exciting in your world?
Oh, getting it done, taking care of it.
Yeah.
The usual.
Yeah, speaking of the huge, did you know that De La Soul, the hip-hop group, came out with a new album?
I did because you told me they did. No, I was aware that they did a ways back, but there's so much stuff that I listen to and I prioritize, and I do enjoy De La a great deal. Mm-hmm. They're not one of my all-time favorites, but I respect them, and I'm grateful that they were pioneers in the game.
Yeah.
And without them, you don't get a lot of the groups you have today. So, I mean, it's but like, it's one of those things where it kind of got buried amongst other stuff I wanted to listen to, and even stuff that like I'm a huge fan of. It took me forever to end up taking a listen to.
Yeah.
So that's a long answer to say yes, I am, and I did end up listening to it.
What's weird for me, for De La Soul, though? Like, I actually really do like them, but I'm a sort of an imposter in sorts, because I really got involved, came on, and people are going to slap their heads. They're like, oh, God, facepalm when they hear this. But I was Beastie Boys fan first, which is not hard to believe, right? And they were on the Artificial Intelligence Mosaic Thump. At least two Ad Rock and Mike D were on a track on there. And I think it was played on local to this area, to WBER, the alternative radio station. I feel like they played it. And I remember hearing, I love Beastie Boys. I'm like, oh, this is such a cool track. And then I listened, and then I fell that album. I just fell absolutely in love with it. It's like so good to me.
Nice.
And then and then they came out with the second Artificial and then the Grind
Weirdly,
Date and stuff.
MCA, like the two guys who were featured of Beasties are the two that ended up surviving.
Right.
And who are still alive today, and MCA wasn't on there. That's just a neat little tidbit, because of course, sadly, Trugoy Dave passed away.
Yeah, I know, it's sad. That's
and
why
this
that
album is kind of them without him and kind of navigating without him, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of send off, right? It's sad without being like depressing. That's how I felt as overall for the album.
Yes and no, kind of. So the weird thing for me, right, is a lot of times when you talk about De La, people will talk about Tribe Called Quest.
Sure.
If people talk about Tribe, they'll talk about De La. Like always within the top 5 groups or whatever, top 10, those two names, get kind of changed around. And I'm a huge fan of Tribe Called Quest. Mm-hmm. Also, they have a member who passed several years ago, Phife, who might kind of be my favorite member. I don't know. I love his tongue-in-cheek style, and he's also a very short king, so I could relate to him on that. But and it's cool because Q-Tip is on the new De La album, and it's neat, some of the the people they have on it. But so
almost star-studded. Me, it's a little way.
Yeah,
Cabin
it's very
in the Sky.
so. But
we haven't said that yet.
What's that?
If we haven't said it yet,
Cabin in the Sky.
Cabin
yes,
in the Sky album.
Yeah. So there's some awesome people. Like you got Black Thought, DJ Premier, the Killer of Mics, Killer Mike, Nas, Pete Rock, Q-Tip, Slick Rick. The opening is definitely a tearjerker because
oh gosh, yeah.
It's like where's Dave? Dave's not here, man. No, I don't mean to be insensitive. It just makes me think of the whole Dave's not here, man. But so for me though, what I'll say is, and it might just be me, but with the Tribe Called Quest album, which the name of it's escaping me, but it's the last one they did. Josh will look it up while I mutter. But basically, with that album, you knew that Phife was gone, and Phife was in a bunch of the songs.
We got it from here.
So maybe that's why it felt a little. What is it?
We got it from here. Thank you for your service.
We got it from here. Yeah. So Phife is at least in the album a little bit, so maybe that's why it's a bit different. But really, for me, it felt like it was more of a fun celebration of like, hey, Phife was so good. Yeah, it's in the back of your mind that he passed away, but like this is I thought it was a very solid album. The difference with the De La album for me is it was melancholy. It was kind of happy, like optimistic, but Dave being gone kind of loomed heavy, much heavier than Phife being gone for me in the Tribe album. So to me, it was like, it was optimistic, it was honoring him, but it really hung heavy in like most of the songs that like Dave's gone. And I will say this, I think it's a lot of albums, whether they think all their stuff is killer or they have a little bit of filler, whatever have you. For me, I like this album a great deal, and the production was excellent. Some of the songs are absolutely beautiful, just like the instrumentals and whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, less is more sometimes. The album was a little long in the tooth.
It's just a long, what's the runtime?
At least for me, it's like, this will kill my afternoon. Let me listen to the De La. No, but it's like
70, it's over 70 minutes, 7:20 that comes in it. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's like, oof, okay. And the other thing is like, I'm not a big fan of skits in rap. Yeah. Give me one or two, and that's it. Don't keep doing all the sketches. Like, and it happens too, like, eventually we're going to kind of
do you think they
talk about other albums we listen to, but like it's, I know that like De La is known for doing skits and whatever else, but like for me, they weren't super strong. I thought it was cool, the intro, the cabin talk, where it had all the different Killer of Mike's and Slick Rick and Nas and everybody like saying hello. Yeah, that was fun. Now the thing is though, is like Slick Rick, I was excited because he's one of my all-time favorites. He barely did like a hook for one of the songs, and that's how they used him. And I'm like, that's neat.
Yeah.
Love Q-Tip, but like it sounded like he didn't really put everything into it. He's just kind of there and just kind of raps and goes through the motions, and fair enough. But like for me, I was telling Josh earlier, I have a ranking system where it's basically like, if I didn't like it, meh. If I thought it was okay, it was decent, or I gave it a star or two. So for me, there were like 6 or 7 songs. If you cut this thing and it was more like 40 minutes or 50 minutes, I think it would have been a much tighter, much better album, because some of the songs were a bit of a slog, just kind of were there. And some of the sketches, I'm like, and that's okay. That's fun. Glad you said that. That was fun for everyone. But so anyway, that's me being kind of a jerk. But like,
what's a standout track for you? Well, pick
so
like your top
me,
couple and the pop best, and your kind of the bottom barrel.
So here's what I would say my top ones are. Don't Stop. Awesome. The top 5 underrated. Beautiful Beat. Love that one. Good Health also was very good. The Package. Those were like, to me, the absolute bangers. And then Cabin in the Sky, the beat was excellent. Now, the stuff that I thought could have been cut, and people can disagree with me, and I don't, that's the beautiful thing about it, right? Like, music can hit people different, and maybe if I listen to this again, I'll feel differently about some of them. But like, some of the songs I felt were lackluster, maybe a little bit in lyric and also in like the beats. Cruel Summer, meh. Will Be was kind of meh. It was kind of a throwback to Run DMC kind of a sound, but I was like, meh. Different World, meh. Patty Cake, meh. Let's see. Silent Life of
a Truth.
Truth?
Of a Truth.
My handwriting is so bad. Meh. The beat was not great on that, is the note I put. Believe was meh. So yeah, like I said, I didn't do the math just now. Oh, and Palm of His Hands was meh. The hook vocals are beautiful on that, but so those songs that are kind of meh to me, I thought if those were gone and I just had like that as an album, like the remaining stuff, would have been awesome.
Can I say it's fun? So I'll say 2 things. One is like, I thought of this album, and you nicely compared it to the Tribe one, the last Tribe one or the first one without Phife, or the last one, or whatever, however you want to say it, right? And to me, it's sort of just like 2 nice expositions of people kind of dealing with grief differently, like, right? So, it is whatever, and that's the personal aspect, even what you talked about with having, music hitting you differently. People are going to have grief hit them differently, and anyway, one of my favorite songs I loved is that Don't Push Me one at the very end. And, it's mostly just Dave. And I love that track. And it's kind of like, it's after Cabin in the Sky. It felt fun. It felt like classic to me, very kind of classic De La. And then it sort of felt like it's a relief. He's still there. He's dead, but he's still with us. And
in spirit, his presence.
Perfect. Yeah. So,
and the beat's really nice on that one. And it is cool that they, had him.
Yeah.
In
And
the
it kind of
last
reminded me
song,
of, is that Most Def, Don't Push Me Cause I'm Close to the,
Yep.
that's his thing or no?
Kind of. That's Puffy and Mace.
What? Oh,
Don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
Oh yeah. Isn't there?
Oh, did he, Josh? Too soon.
God.
No, but he did the what's the song? It's like
He is a
don't push me because I'm close to the middle front.
Yeah. Okay. Right. That's exactly
kind of similar, but different enough.
That's not what they were doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I love that track, and it just felt like the cap on the. You kind of go through this hard but needed journey of the death of a very close friend, and then at the end, there's like, oh, here he is. Here's how That's how we're remembering.
That was a nice touch. It was very touching. It was nice. So I mean, and I thought it was cool. So in some of them, like, let's see, like just the different cameos and stuff that they had. I and some of the lines like the package I loved, and it's like a B-boy became a C-note chaser. I love that. The Quick 16 for Mama. It's like, sometimes it's a nice heartfelt song, but it's like not one of those things you can bump and like just play and be like, yeah, guys, I'm listening to a song about how much I love my mom. Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's cool, but I mean, not only all the time are you trying to bump shit either. So I get that. But Killer Mike, he always brings it.
I
love how Jay Farrow is in Just How It Is. Like, that was cool that he was in there. And I mean, I love the cameos. Black Thought always like kills it.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like it's just I think a lot of albums do this, and I know pop music is doing this so much, where you have somebody featured or comes on and they just do a few bars or whatever, and that's it. Like, it's like, I don't know how much did you really collaborate, or you said, here's the beat, kind of rhyme on it. You know what I mean? Some of that felt like that on this album to me, where it didn't feel like, harkening back to that Beastie Boys track with De La, where I felt that whole album, they have a ton of people on it. It really felt cohesive with everybody they brought in, was really thought out. And I'm not saying it wasn't with here, and I should listen again, so don't murder me about my statements now, but it almost just felt like, have a guest star. We are friends with these big name people, put them in. Yeah.
Yeah. Could also, this is a thing I wonder too a lot of the time, could it be just a matter of the time that we're in now, where like back with that Beastie Boys collab, people more often or not were in the same studio, stop by. Whereas like later on in the 2010s and stuff, it was more prevalent where it'd be like, oh, send me an audio file, of you rapping over the beat or whatever, and I'll just add it. Like, you don't have to be anywhere. Like Josh and I right now, big surprise, we're not in the same studio. We're like cross country,
Yeah.
I'm West Coast, he's East Coast, and it might sound like we're in the same room, and hey, we just high-fived each other. No, we didn't. I just slapped my butt. Like, so
yeah, he did.
Maybe it's also kind of like you get a victim of your time and stuff as well. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it'd be cool if like in the Cabin Talk, it was cool because it's like you could imagine all these super talented dudes in the studio together.
Yeah.
But that's not really what happened. They all just kind of had some lines and said some things. But I like what they were going for, because those were the days, and I think things are much more organic and fun, and when you can work off of each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's lacking a lot in a lot of music today, and I think in hip-hop as well, where it's like, hey, I want Conway the Machine to feature on this. He's not coming to the studio. He's just going to send me his stuff digitally, and I'm going to like piece it together with my engineer and DJ and whoever.
Yeah.
So... or, oh yeah, we got West Side Gun and he's going to be on this guy's project, but he actually wasn't in the studio, and it's no fault of theirs. I mean, it's why spend the money and the resources and whatever, driving wherever, taking a plane wherever. So I don't know. Some of it I think is a.
I'm just saying, like we still collaborate and really get into like writing an episode of Cool Side of the Pillow or whatever and things, but I just don't. I wonder if it is just like I'll email you the beat.
But we're not detached. We work on it together,
That's
and
what
we're
I'm
talking
saying.
to each other, and we can see each other. Whereas Q-Tip might not have he might have had one phone call with them, whatever, and was like, oh, yeah, I can do a beat for you guys. And then, or I could do a verse, does his verse, says his little thing, and then boom.
Because he's a killer
And then
producer in his own right. So it's like maybe it would be cool to have him come on and really like. And I was trying. I don't see that he was on any of the tracks, but maybe I'm missing it. I don't know.
Oh, wait, Q-Tip?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was.
No, producing though. Like I don't know if he produced.
Oh, producing. I don't think he produced anything. He might have. I mean, he's definitely talented with that.
Yeah, like
of course he produced One Love on Nas's seminal debut, the Illmatic, which is, you know, one of the greatest albums ever. I mean, people can argue it, but you really can't. It's incredible. Yeah.
I don't know. So the elephant in the room, kind of that cohesively wanted to bring this all together to get your take, because you're a huge hip hop head, and with Dave from De La passing away, MCA from Beastie Boys passing away, you have Guru from Gang Starr passing away, and then of course that was we already also talked about. You had Phife Dawg from Tribe Called Quest pass away.
Yep, Phife. Yeah.
So I was wondering, what if you took all these remaining members and created a super group, a super
like
rap
a
group.
Wu-Tang, if you will.
Yeah, sort of like a Wu-Tang.
Like, so with Tribe, you have 3 surviving members: Jerobi, Q-Tip, and Ali Shaheed Muhammad.
Yeah,
you have those 3 surviving. With De La,
is Jerobi?
Trugoy
How much
is
does he
gone.
come in? Is he still? Because he's dropped a little, or what?
In their latest album, or their last album / latest, he raps a bunch on it. But I think originally it was intended maybe for Phife to do some of that. But like he did that. I think he's one of those dudes who like collaborates, and like kind of, I don't want to say ghost writes, but I think he's a collaborator, and he's used as needed and comes on tour with them and stuff. But he's sort of like that member that like you really only know like the 3 main guys, but Jerobi's definitely there.
Yeah. Do you think he'll come back now more if they do another album? He'll be.
That would be awesome. I hope so, because I like Jerobi a lot. He's in a group with one of the dudes from Black Sheep called Evitan, which that's just native backwards because they're part of native tongues.
Yeah.
And it's really good. There's a song called like, I can't think of the exact name, but it's like Bong Bong or something, and it's like light up the bong bong bong, and it's just a really fun beat. And Jerobi comes with it. He's really good. So I'm surprised that like they didn't use him more in the day. But yeah, and then you have the surviving members of De La, which help me out. I know which guy is gone, but like the other 2,
Yeah. Well.
I forget their names.
So do you? I
Day
guess.
and La. No.
They lost
And then
their
you got
soul.
Beasties, who like Ad Rock and
You took me off.
who else survived? Ad Rock and Mike D.
Yeah.
And then Gang
Posdnuos
Starr,
and
you have
Maceo.
DJ. What's that? Iglesia?
Maceo and Posdnuos like yeah.
Posdnuos, or
Yeah.
however.
Yes, sound
Please don't
stop
kill me. I'm
backwards.
trying. Yeah. Yep. And Trugoy was Yogurt, which is really cool. And like Gang Starr, you have DJ Premier who survived. So that'd be cool. So Premier could be kind of like the DJ, you know,
Because he was the one on this, on the Cabin
Beastie,
Sky.
yeah.
He was a lot on there.
Beasties also, they can do some production. You got
And play
Q-Tip
real
that can do production.
instruments. The Beastie Boys, like.
So like you got people who definitely have their chops, and you got plenty of people who can rhyme. It's about 8 people, whereas Wu-Tang is 9 or 10, depending on if you count Capadonna or not.
So wait a second. I guess let's think about that. So the 2 from, Pos and Maceo. Maceo doesn't really rap. I mean, he might have little spurts, but he's not known for that, right? He's more producer dude. So you have that him as a producer, and then you have Pos as the rhymer, the rapper. Then for Beastie Boys, I think you have them in both camps. So if Ad Rock and Mike D but they'll predominantly be on the mic, right, with his production value. Then Gang Starr, you have basically just DJ Premier, because he doesn't. And then for Tribe is kind of somewhere in that mix too with the rest of them, where they can, like, Q-Tip does both so freaking amazingly.
Yeah, like Ali Shaheed Muhammad would probably just be more like Premier, and they would produce. But I mean, I think that would be an awesome tight
Maceo,
album.
DJ Premier, and then Ali.
Yeah, some true
So
heavy
he's,
hitters
doing the-
for production. It'd be sick.
God, you imagine that album? like if they wanted, God, I guess I would be. Can we somehow internet make this happen? Get these guys in
so
the
good. But what's cool is like speaking of some of these other acts and artists and things, of the Wu-Tang Clan, since we're mentioning them, Ghostface, he came out, and I have some notes there on his album as well, Supreme Clientele 2, which Supreme Clientele 1 is another classic, like, somewhere within the top 10 if Illmatic is in there, in my opinion. The Ghost album was very good. There were some songs that Sample 420, Curtis May, Rap Kingpin, Beatbox was a lot of fun. Metaphysics, which used another sample from, which used elements of Typhoon rap, which is Mayhem Loren, which is really cool. It's and then there was a throwback to Pretty Tony, which I think was the Zoom. And what else? There was one other one. Let's see here. Oh, Rap Kingpin sampled another one of Ghost's songs, Mighty Healthy, from Supreme Clientele 1. But it was different enough, but you caught elements of it. So I thought that was really cool. He's made so many albums that at this point in time, he can be I'm going to take elements from another beat and use them as a new song. And it worked so well. It was really good. But again, there were a bunch of skits that I'm really? One of them was talking about tossing salad, and I'm really? This was funny in 2000s kind of. So why are we talking about this? Yeah. And then it's funny too because I put Force MD or I don't know. My handwriting is terrible, but whatever that Force something or other song is or skit. It's all right, everybody come to the floor. And it's this is the 6th song on the album.
Force MD skit with Ty Boogie.
There you go. That's the one. That to me was funny. It was kind of unnecessary, but it was fine because it was oh, hey, it kind of gets you back up and going. But it's everybody come to the floor. Okay, we've been here. It's song 6. What's going on here? I don't know. So... also, though, we talked about Nas or we talked about DJ Premier, and we have talked about Nas. Yeah. Light Years, that album that came out, was very good as well. There were a few meh songs, but I thought My Life Is Real, Get Ready, It's Time, Nasty Esco, Nasir, those were all great. It was cool that AZ was on a song back to the Firm days with, Foxy Brown and, that whole group was cool. And I really like the Nas one. So, I mean, if just recent listens with all this stuff, the tie-ins or whatever of the latest albums we're talking about, I feel like I liked Supreme Clientele 2 the best, and then Nas and Premier's Light Years, and then Cabin in the Sky. But they're all great albums. The only problem I have, and it's a me thing, is so many sketches and so many skits.
Yeah. The Nas one didn't really have... They had a couple, sort of fillery-ish things, but it was mostly just all right. It was all just kind of rhyming and beats.
And I get why sometimes it's nice to have a transition but sometimes it's you're just throwing stuff in or to throw in there and you're not really saying anything. And maybe they are. Maybe I'm horribly wrong and they're dude, actually there's a lot of nuance to what we did and we're giving paying homage to this thing or that thing, but without knowing that. It's almost like one of those inside jokes, and you're like Michael Scott, and you're one day, I love inside jokes. One day I hope to be part of one. You kind of feel are you guys talking inside baseball, or is this just filler? What's
Something
going
happened
on?
in the booth that nobody else knows about.
But for me, I feel like this. Sometimes people can be oh, you're hypercritical, whatever. Here's my thing. If you love something enough, you also have to realize and want the best for it. And you can sometimes be very critical, but that doesn't mean you don't love it. Yeah. It's just, you can appreciate something and be well, this could have been a little bit better. But honestly, these are all groups and artists who are at the tops of their game still. They've got that longevity. Yeah. I mean, I'm so grateful that they're all still making music.
We haven't really done anything with the Beastie Boys, though, in a long time. Yeah, I did see they were on, Conan Needs a Friend. I saw a random clip on YouTube, and it was really fun to see them and chopping it up with Conan and joking around. So that was really cool. But I think it's a cool premise of just taking the surviving members of Tribe, De La, Beasties, and Gang Starr and having them all together. Now, again, I'm not trying to be yuck other people's yums or whatever, but sometimes
Like I think Cypress Hill, a few of their members, and like Rage Against the Machine, some of their members like did a group, kind of a super group, and like I really like Cypress Hill, really like Rage Against the Machine, like back in the day, but like not like Prophets of Rage, I think they were called.
Oh.
Like already they're really trying to shoehorn like we're revolutionaries, we're potheads. They go hand in hand. Like I don't know, just me. I mean, but you know. Sometimes it's like you're taking two awesome things, like you got puzzle pieces from two awesome puzzles, and you're trying to smash them together, and it's like doesn't always fit.
So that's what I wanted to know. What your thought? Do you think you wonder about like egos and everything? Could they actually meld together?
Yeah, I think so. I think the thing is though, is the guys who predominantly just do beats should maybe stick to that. So like if you had DJ Premier, Muhammad, and Maceo, if they took the brunt of the production, and like Q-Tip did a little bit as well, and the Beasties as well, like kind of executive producing maybe, or like co-producing, but kind of taking a backseat to the main guys, and the guys who actually rhyme doing the majority of that.
Yeah.
I think it would be awesome, because with Tribe, you've got like the cool laid-back delivery of Q-Tip, the hypeness of Jerobi. You know, you've got the Beastie Boys, they're hype, they're awesome. You know, I mean, you have no shortage of like different styles too, and you could have like guest stars come on.
They've all kind of worked together too, right?
Yeah,
like in some form. I don't know if the like I'm blanking on like Premier and the Beastie Boys, but I feel like every other faction has kind of worked together in some form.
Well, like Native Tongues, right? Was like originally Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, and Jungle Brothers, and then you had kind of the unofficial guys who were sort of part of it, but maybe just slightly missed what like Black Sheep, and then I think also maybe Common and Talib Kweli, if I'm not mistaken. But I've heard a lot of those names kind of been like, yeah, they're part of Native Tongues, but they're kind of like the next gen Native Tongues, or they're associated but not real, like, but still in that conversation of kind of carrying the torch and being part of that collective. But of course, I mean, Tribe and De La, those guys would definitely gel well and get along. Beasties and De La and Tribe would absolutely get along, and then you just have Premier along as well to enhance the whole thing. So I think it would be killer. I mean, I love, what is it, that one song, Get It Together, where it's just like Beasties and Q-Tip freestyling, and the beat's so good, and it's just so much fun. And that's also, again, going back to what we were talking about, what's kind of lacking in some hip-hop as well as rock, any genre. You lack some of that, like, hey, we're all in the studio goofing off together. The fun is infectious. You can feel it. Yeah. Whereas it's a little detached. I'm going to mail in my my beats or my verses or whatever, and that's fine. But I think like it's not as collaborative. Yeah. You know, it's just sort of like, here's some stuff, cool, I'll take it and see what I can do with it. Which, I mean, I feel like if you and I did that for the podcast, it would be brutal, because it'd be like I would try to write with both of us in mind and maybe miss the mark, and same with you. So like writing collaboratively, even though we're, you know, cross country, in real time we're writing together and collaborating. Yeah. Whereas maybe a lot of rappers and producers and stuff, they do the same kind of thing where they collaborate over Zoom or, you know, Riverside plug, or you know, another platform where it's a little bit more like they're actually working together. Yeah.
You know, I think the Beastie Boys aspect alone, and I'm, you know, obviously, well, they're one of my favorites, but I think with the weirdness for them would be such a huge draw for the whole group, because sometimes you get with rap where it's just like, here's a beat, here's the chorus, here's the beat, here's the chorus. Beastie Boys stuff, it does change up, and it's some of it's pretty crazy. Paul's Boutique obviously is a seminal example of that. But even, you know, Hello Nasty, and one of my I love that album. It's all over the place with production and types of songs and stuff. So I think it'd be, I'm always like, real quick to step outside of this super group, if you want to call it that, is like Eminem. I know mixed feelings, but I always thought it'd be so cool for him to do like a totally bonkers album. Like, I know you can't work with this guy anymore, but Kanye West, for hate him or whatever, but before he went crazy, his albums were like just so cool and out there, and he did what he wanted to do, and usually translated to amazing stuff. And I just thought, if you imagine if Eminem stopped just doing the same, like every album, I feel like you could just swap tracks and it sounds like the same Eminem for the last 20
Except
years.
Dated. That's my only.
Well, yeah, no, it's dated.
But my only critique is he one of the greatest of all times? Yes. My only critique of Eminem is it's hard to listen to some of his stuff because some of the references, there's so many and they're so dated in certain songs that it's like, I'm listening to a time capsule, which is fine. But also sometimes if you didn't grow up in that era or whatever, you might be lost on, again, that inside baseball stuff or that inside joke, like you're not in on it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's tough to make something timeless, right? But as timeless as you can make it is better than always having references, you know, like that one Tribe song where Q-Tip at the end was like, I'm not going to say years because so-and-so told me not to say it. I forget. It's at the end of do 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 boom boom boom. What the hell is that song? That was very helpful. I know. He's like, I'm not going to say years because so said not to say it. It's tough. That's my only real criticism with M. But like, you know, in high school is when he blew up for me. I was in high school. So listening to it, I get more the full picture and it's not as inside baseball, but still sometimes it's like, yep, Christina Aguilera was a person a ways back and Triumph, the insult comic dog. Oh, like it doesn't feel as, by making it too timely, sometimes it alienates its audience. Like South Park sometimes can, you know?
Sure.
Like sometimes they get a little too, sometimes they get a little too, so like, you know, you watch something back in like, you know, from a season from 2011, you're like, yeah, I remember whatever that thing was with Chipotle or whatever. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, way off topic, but
yeah, and I kind of led us there. But my point is that I think
I blame you.
The alternative aspect that the Beastie Boys would bring, I think, would be such a breath of fresh air, and in that sense. And then you still could have those, like you said, classic tracks where like DJ Premier is bringing that just straight up hip hop that everyone knows and loves, like. But it'd be cool if, like, it would be better than just like DJ Premier does this one, Beastie Boys do this one, Maceo does this one. Where it's more like an actual collaboration. Yes, a fusion.
Because I love like, you know, like Premier has some of those like grimy, nice street beats, and like if you're a hip hop purist, yeah. And some people, you know, might be like, oh, Beasties or De La are a little too weird. And to me, Tribe kind of blends both, kind of the weird and the you know, the street stuff.
That's a good point.
The true to New York stuff. But like, I think all of them collaborating, you'd see, you get maybe hopefully more down the middle where it's like you get like maybe even nerdcore-ish where you get like a lot of like fun comic book references and other song references and some of the griminess, but some of the hard edges softened up by some humor, and then vice versa, some of the silliness kind of toned down. I think you just have a beautiful union of so many different styles.
Yeah.
I would love to see a group like that. I wonder if you took the inverse or the opposite of that or whatever, and it was all the guys who passed away from those groups.
Oh.
So like you have Phife, you have Trugoy, you have MCA, and you have Guru. Those are four dudes, and you know what? If we're making them like Wu-Tang, let's throw ODB in there because he passed away.
Okay.
What a interesting group. You have ODB with like the street stuff, but the weird out there stuff.
Yeah.
You have Guru with like the smooth. He could kind of maybe like be like the leader and bring everyone together. And you know, you have MCA with like some of the experimental wild stuff. You have Dave, you know, who a lot of people feel was like the heart or the glue of De La. And you have Phife, who again is well rounded. He can rhyme with anybody. I think that would be a really cool five-some as well.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't think of that. Imagine that.
Yeah, that would be nuts. You have ODB. So it's almost like a rap, like, I don't want to say boy band because yuck, but like, you know what I mean? You got ODB, he's the crazy one, and he's kind of hot. And then you have Phife, you know, oh, he's the aloof one, he's too cool for school. You have Dave, he's the sweetie pie, he might give you a kiss. You know, you have MC, I'm not trying to, I know these people have passed away. I'm not making fun of them. I'm just saying if, you know, in this hypothetical whatever, you have MCA, he's the complicated one. Maybe one day a girl will tame him, you know, and you have Guru, ooh, he's the cool one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's the one who's like the leader and gets all the bad boys to be good boys. I don't know. Like,
I love it. Oh my God.
I think both would be really neat. I love when you see those random collabos, you know. I mean, for me, Run the Jewels was a beautiful thing that happened because you had LP of Company Flow, Cannibal Ox, which that Cannibal Ox Cold Vein album is like either my first or second of all time. But then, you know, and then you have LP with his solo stuff and Company Flow and whatever else. And then you have Killer Mike. Both, you know, styles pretty different, you know, similar at the core, but like different, you know, South and New York, and you just blend those like so well. And I feel like Killer Mike had a lot of influence on LP with producing beats a certain way. And the two of them coming together, you know, through like, it was some dude through Adult Swim who was doing like the bumpers and whatever and music. And I love when they used to do that. They used to have like artists, like different musical artists doing bumps and stuff. And they collaborated on, you know, Killer Mike's rap music. LP rapped on one of the tracks, and it's Butane, I think it's called. And it was awesome. I'm like, whoa. And I even remember hearing it then. And I didn't know LP produced the whole album. It wasn't until like a little bit later that I realized that. But I'm like, oh man, LP is on this. That's random. And how good that song was with both of them together. Their styles just so good. And I'm like, man, it would be so cool if they did more together. And then we were blessed with 4 albums. Hopefully we get a 5th sometime soon.
That'd be cool. The five fingers on
I mean, I love LP's solo stuff, and I really like Killer Mike's solo stuff. When they're together, though, holy moly, it's another level. You know, it's like, it's funny because LP, I think, had mentioned when they would do shows, sometimes he would be the opener or Mike would be the opener, and then the next one would be the other guy, and then they would do Run the Jewels. And when they would come out separately, the fans were pretty hype and excited, but they clapped the hardest for the two of them together. And that's not downplaying any of their stuff, because Killer Mike's in my rotation very often, you know, and as is Outkast. And then everything LP's done is heavily in my rotation. Yeah. Of course, Your Old Droog and A$AP Rock and MF Doom and Wu-Tang are like all my tippity tops. Nas. But like, sorry, my ADD's going crazy now because I was just naming all my favorites and getting lost in like lyrics and things. I'm like, yes. Like, I'm just thinking of like Nas is like half man, half amazing. Another random thing, I know this is like way off topic, but since we're talking about Wu-Tang and I love Wu-Tang lore, I don't know if you're familiar with like when there was that like flood in RZA's basement, and Inspector Deck was one of the first few guys who was supposed to come out, and his stuff was like, you know, well along its way, and it might have been like a working title like Spider-Man or something like that, because he had a lot of those awesome comic book references, which, you know, eventually gave birth to like nerdcore. Like, Inspector Deck doesn't get enough of his flowers, I feel, because, you know, the best solo verses on most Wu-Tang stuff, it's Deck. Like, so I mean, you know, the same, like, you know, I bomb atomically, like, no one can even argue that was the best verse on that song. And a lot of other ones. I smoke on the track like Smoking Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser, raising hell with the flavor. Like your neighborhood Spider-Man. So, you know, like he has, I think, the strongest solo verses on the Wu stuff, and I think his album, if it hadn't gotten destroyed, would have been incredible. Would have been a classic up there with, you know, Iron Man and Supreme Clientele and Only Built for Cuban Links and Tikal and what's Jizz's solo? Why can't I think of it? Liquid Swords. You know, all of those. You know.
I think everyone would bring everyone up a notch too. You know, you feel because you get in a comfort zone with your buddies. But there's friendly competition.
Especially if they're all together.
Yes.
Like I think that's the key in really making something good. And granted, it's some overhead, right? You got to rent a space, you got to have a place for everybody to sleep, eat, all this other stuff. But how cool would it be to be like fly on the wall and see these dudes, the Supergroup, hanging out, eating chicken nuggies, you know, having a drink, smoking a blunt, whatever they got to do, you know, hanging out, having fun, playing Nintendo with each other, goofing around, getting inspiration from the hangout, you know what I mean? Because, like, that's where some of the most creative stuff comes, is when you're just hanging out, goofing off, and you're like, wait a minute, say that again? Or wait a minute, tap that thing again? We could make a beat out of that, or we could do, we can make a, you know, we can make a really cool skit. Let's do 17 skits. No. But, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I think that if those guys went to like a record company, it's like, we need X amount of money, that album would sell. And that's not all about sales, but because I truly believe if those guys got together and really did an album, it would be phenomenal. I have no doubt in my mind it would be amazing. But it also would sell so well.
It's worth the investment. It's worth renting a cabin in the sky, for instance. You know, it's worth renting a cabin or a place or having a studio that like has beds and stuff, and having everybody, you know, maybe like they have the beats all figured out, but they're like, okay, write to these. Once you kind of write to these, come to the studio, we'll get your input, we'll sharpen up the beats, we'll sharpen up the vocals, we'll hang out for a week or two. Because like, you know, to bring up MF Doom, you know, Mad Villain, him and Quasimodo, aka Madlib, you know, granted they didn't, I think Madlib said they didn't hang out a ton. Like he would write some stuff, and then MF Doom was, of course he's MF Doom, he's kind of strange.
I like it.
He would sleep at weird hours, and like he would record for like his vocals and help out with a little bit of production, but mostly he just did the vocals. And he would be up at weird hours of the night and like work for 12 hours, sleep for like 4 or 5, wake up, do that again. And they did interact some, and they hung out and they smoked and whatever. But even still, the fact that you're just in proximity with the other person you're creating with, there's going to be things that you work off each other and get inspired by. Whereas if you just get a verse from somebody you know, cool, but then that's it. That's the end of the transaction. There's no collaboration there. You're just making a mosaic. You're taking a piece and fitting it into your puzzle. So I think there's a lot said, and it's a lost art. You know, even if you have to do it over Zoom or over Teams or whatever, I think being able to actually collaborate with someone, you just get much more out of it than just you do your part, now you do your part, now let's shoehorn them all together.
Yeah.
A little bit of the magic is lost, especially in hip hop, I want to say, because of that.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I still love it though. I'm still here for it.
All right, tell us who we missed. Who would you add? Who would be the strongest of the group? Whatever it is, we want to hear from you. Chime in, Instagram, send us an email, whatever. You know, just share it.
Skip, Scap, Scared. I think they should share it.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
This has been Memory Foam, audio comfort for your ears. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. For merch, links, and everything else, head over to coolsideofthepillow.com. By the way, if you're only listening to this, you're missing half the show. We've got full video episodes up on YouTube. Also, make sure you're following us on Instagram at coolsideofthepillowpodofficial. Thanks for sinking in to this episode of Memory Foam. Until next time.